Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Pro Street Stock Series, sponsored by East Action Sports. Today, we're at the virtual USA International Speedway, where we're going to see the pro drivers go 175 laps. As always, no fast repair, 3 sets of tires, and of course, this race is broadcasted with live race control. On behalf of Team Goon Squad, my name is James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, and we've also got the world-famous Joseph Penn acting as race control tonight. Let's see if he has a nice and boring evening. Boy, I hope so. Let's take a look at tonight's grid. James Silver starting on pole in the number 21. Vandermeed starting second in the 84. Kenny Tripp qualified third in the 116. Sullivan starting fourth in the number 16. Tyler Tomasi, a new driver here for the Pro Series, starting fifth. Tyler the Weapon Evans starting sixth in the 553. Jason Gardner starting seventh in the 48. John Friley in the 06 starting eighth. Travis Sukup in the 99 starting 9th. Brett Edgar in the 98 starting 10th. Tyler McRae starting 11th in the number 28. Cole Patrick in the number 12 will be starting, the number 1 will be starting 12th. Spencer Breslin in the number 14 starting 13th. Radburn Shutters in the 42 starting 14th. Kage Song in the number 53 will be starting 15th. Matt Bear in the 19 starting 16th. Jacob Veskinen starting 17th. And then Joseph Penn showing up as in the race, despite him being race control, will not actually be joining. Big shout out to, as Jason Gardner running with us for the first time. Gardner, one of the admins for the ASRC Rookie Oval Series. They run on Monday night, so if you're looking for another Street Stock Series to race in, check them out, ASRC Rookie Oval. A lot of good guys, great racing over there. And something else you're going to notice tonight is steering wheels popping out of the roof of the cars here tonight. iRacing just pushed an update, and they must have messed something up, as now our drivers have aerodynamic steering wheel shark fins coming out the top of the car. It's going to be Silvers and Vandermeed on the front row, 2 teammates side by side on the start. Now, not quite sure what we're going to see here today. We're hoping for the patented green flag runs that these guys are used to in the past. But if I was a betting man, and boy am I am expecting to see a little bit of shenanigans happen early on in the race before things get cleaned out. So a few of the drivers are going to be putting the pedal down as loud as they can, try and pick up some spots early on, while other drivers are planning on cruising around at the back and maybe just avoiding the mayhem that may come out here today at USA International. Looks like an extended caution there, as Breslin may have had some sort of issues in the number 14, or may have asked for an EOL. Not quite sure what that one may be. But pace car is in. We're going to send the pro drivers out for the first time here tonight at USA International. Silvers and Vandermeed in the front row. Vandermeed already getting a hearty push from Sullivan in the number 16 machine. They get through turn 1 relatively smooth. Kenny Tripp in the 116 on the inside line. Looks to the inside of Vandermeed, but not quite able to get enough momentum down the backstretch here. It's Silvers, Vandermeed, Tripp running 1, 2, 3. But let's look a little bit further back in the field. Jason Gardner, the number 48 machine, running 6th here tonight. He's got Tyler Evans right behind him, as well as Travis Sukup, Tyler McRae, John Friley. A lot of fast and experienced drivers that we see run together several times a week. I believe some of these drivers run 3 different street stock leagues, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. But it looks like we might be getting a groove going on. For the most part, the field single file. We had to cycle all the way back to 13th, where it's Jacob Veskinen in the 926 machine working his way around. I believe Radburn Shutters. Veskinen is up 4 spots here tonight. McRae trying to make something happen against his teammate Travis Sukup. Going to do his absolute best to avoid bumping into a team car. Now these guys are all out here battling for both individual points as well as their team points. And right now the team championship purse is up to $200. That will be split amongst the top 5 teams here in the Pro Series. Currently leading the points is Dropping Bombs Racing with 269 points. We've got Devil Core in second with 253 points. And then Lodo Racing sitting in third with 208 points. We've also got East Action Sports, Hayward Racing, Perkins Motorsports, and Fast Lane Motorsports represented in the team challenge. Everybody's still out there battling hard. But the points all around exciting is right now we're focused on McRae and the number 28 machine. That number 28 has the most amount of points here in the individual championship, which is again tied to the car number and not so much the driver. So you'll see some of these teams swapping drivers around as the season progresses. Granted, we're already around 10, but doing whatever they can to put their fast guys in the fast cars and bring home the points. Because McRae has got to know, again, McRae piloting the number 28 machine, he's got a tight battle between himself and the number 98 car owned by Brett Edgar with Delvacore Racing. Number 98 has 103 points compared to the 28, so things are getting really nice and tight. We made it 7 laps in, though, and I've got to say, that's further than I thought we would be getting here tonight, as this tight track can lead to a little bit of over-aggression early on. Now, the drivers were warned leading into tonight's event, don't be the guy that takes it 3 wide early on and wrecks yourself and a bunch of other fast drivers. I'm not going to say they heeded the advice, because that's how you get the commentator's curse, but it looks like they're doing pretty well for themselves. And it could be as well, you've got 2 teammates running 1 and 2, Silvers and Vandermeed out front. You don't want to be the guy that takes out a friend, another fast driver. You especially don't want to be the guy that takes out a teammate here. As we're looking through, I believe it may be Kenny Tripp has put down the fastest lap. No, it's going to be, I believe, Friley running back in 9th in the 06 machine. He clicked off a 22.94. This is going to be a game of patience. We talked to some of the drivers in their hauler leading up to tonight's event, and they're expecting about 58 laps of fuel. It's the most they're going to be able to squeeze out of these machines, as we've got contact on the track. John Friley takes a shove from Jacob Veskinen. Friley in the 06, Veskinen in the 926. Not sure if that was just different closing speeds. I don't think it would be a bump and run attempt this early into the night. And what I'm interested to see is we've seen guys like Silvers, like Vandermeed, come out and click off blistering fast laps and qualifying in the race. But which of these drivers are set up for a long run? We have an hour practice session leading up to qualifying each and every Thursday, as well as a open practice for all the pro drivers on Wednesdays. That's open to anybody inside the Team Goon Squad Discord. And I'm curious to see, in tonight's practice, most guys were focusing on qualifying speed. I'm interested to see what they did during practice, who was setting up for long runs and who was just out there trying to hot lap. Always good seeing our friend Larry Fulcher join us in the grandstands today. The maker of badass shirts, badass arts. Always great seeing Fulcher in any capacity here at Team Goon Squad. So far, guys are taking it nice and easy. It's still Silvers, Vandermeed, Tripp running 1, 2, 3. Sullivan in the number 16 machine. He wants to get up there and interject himself in the battle for podium. As it looks like Tripp maybe hinting at the inside of Vandermeed. Vandermeed gets a little bit loose there. Not sure if Tripp's going to be able to make something happen going into turn 1. As he's not quite side by side, but Tripp's going to take advantage of it. Still early into the run here, only 16 laps in. So that is going to maybe allow him to use a little bit more traction and push his way up to the front as Tripp and Vandermeed still side by side. This is the battle for second. That's going to allow Silvers to get some chance to breathe. We've got Song in the 53 machine. He's going to go to the high line to avoid interjecting himself in this battle that the leaders are having. As it looks like Silvers is going to still hold on to the lead. Tripp moves up to second. Vandermeed trying to get back around him. And you've also got Sullivan in the number 16 machine trying to get up in the mix. Now, we kind of joke about this week in and week out. Whenever we have Penn in the booth acting as race control, things tend to go a little bit better for the drivers out on track. So let's see if race control Joseph Penn's good luck continues, or if maybe things will heat up. Now, as always, cautions breed cautions. But so far, the top 5 drivers being very respectful out on track. The only big mover we have is Tripp, who is up 1 spot. He qualified 3rd, has moved his way up to 2nd, displacing Michael Vandermeed in the number 84 machine. Tripp's last time by a 22.99 compared to your race leader Silver's 23.2. It looks like Tripp has some speed here, especially later on the run. But does Silvers and Vandermeed have some late run speed that we haven't seen from the drivers yet? As that last time by, Tripp was once again about 0.2 faster than your race leader Silvers. Things still going pretty well. Tripp's going to look away through Silvers, but he might have tagged the outside wall on the 116 machine. And that may allow Vandermeed to pressure once more for 2nd. Now these guys have got to be careful. We're only 23 laps in out of a 175 lap main event here today. Round 10 of the Pro Series. Nobody wants to bin it this early in the night, and they're going to battle hard for 2nd place as Vandermeed once again slots alongside the 116 machine to try and take back over 2nd place. I think he's going to have him going into turn 1. But Tripp is in a good spot here to keep Vandermeed pinned down, maybe burn up a little bit more tires, but Vandermeed will take the position. And now here comes Patrick Sullivan in the number 16 machine to try and work on the number 16, or 116, excuse me, of Tripp. Tripp not happy getting bumped back to 3rd. He's going to look to the inside once more of Vandermeed. And every time these guys slow down, that is going to allow guys like Tripp and Tomasi to try and pick up some more spots. Lap traffic coming into play here as they're going to very briefly go 3 wide into turn 1. That is gutsy. Tyler McRae's got a great angle here to watch the battle unfold ahead of him. Let's go on board with McRae and the number 28. Just as we do that, he dives up the inside of Sullivan, gets on the rear bumper of Tyler Tomasi, a fill-in driver for East Action Sports. McRae up 6 spots so far in the number 28 machine. Again, that number 28, the bright pink number 28, that is your points leader currently for the Pro Series. Now, McRae is going to try and work on Tomasi in the number 76 machine to gain another spot. The battle for the lead has calmed down slightly. Silvers has a pretty comfortable 1 second advantage over to his teammate in 2nd place, Vandermeed, because Vandermeed hasn't been able to get easy laps yet. He's been battling hard for position. The pace really hasn't slowed down much for these guys. Everybody clicking off low 23.25 for the most part, and the majority of the field are right in that area. That's compared to their fastest laps of the race, which was high 22.9s or low 23s. A large portion of the driver all set about 23-second flat lap times for their fastest session of the race, fastest lap of the race. Breslin involved in a crash in the number 14 machine. able to get it pointed right back the direction. Let's take a quick look at that and see what might have happened. It seems like it's not going to bring out the caution. Not sure. Breslin's been fighting internet problems all night long, so that could have triggered the iRacing crash symbol, and that is the case. Silver's still out front. He's got a comfortable 1 second lead over the rest of the field. And we're going to keep this party going in the right direction. Silver's, he won a race at All-American ARCA in their series last season. This is a track he's comfortable at in pretty much everything he drives in. But look at this, Tyler Tomasi, Kenny Tripp putting on a battle for third. Tomasi looks up the inside line in the number 76 machine. He's going to get around Tripp in the 116. And now McRae is also going to try and capitalize on number 28 machine, diving it in deep into turn one. Tripp nowhere to go here. Is sliding down the stands just ever so slightly. He's down 2 spots from where he started. Tyler McRae, number 28, he is up 7 spots here tonight. A little bit of wall grinding going on, but for the most part, everybody doing a good job. We're pretty late in the run, 36 laps again into this fuel run, expecting drivers to make their green flag stops around lap 58. Silver still out front, his teammate Vandermeet second, Tyler Tomasi with East Action Sports running third, McRae with dropping bombs running fourth, and we've got Sullivan running fifth on track. But things are nice and tight among the leaders here. Everybody doing a great job putting on a show at USA International. A track that's pretty well driven from all of our street stock drivers. This is one of the most often tracks that you run on iRacing in the Street Stock Series, be it the official rookie series for iRacing or the C-Class series. So a track that is free with your iRacing subscription. Gets driven a lot, but once you get 20 knuckleheads out on track pushing, all trying to bring home a payday, it can get a little bit exciting for several guys. Speaking of exciting, Radburn Shutters, Cole Patrick putting on a show. Breslin, number 14, still having those internet problems. This is the battle for 14th on track between Shutters and Patrick in the number 1. Shutters racing with Lodo Racing. And I believe that Patrick is going to be racing with Droppin' Bombs Racing. We're going to check out front. It's still Silvers and Vandermeet, the two teammates running 1 and 2. Vandermeet in second. He's got about a 1.2 second gap to Tomasi in the number 76 machine. Still have 16 drivers on the lead lap. We've had a very minor amount of bumper-to-bumper contact, a little bit of wall drag in here at USA International, but for the most part, the guys doing a good job putting on a nice, clean show. And again, we've got several drivers with their debut here at the Pro Series. I know it's Tomasi's first time. Jason Gardner's out here for the first time. I think Sukup is out here for the first time as well. Not sure if we've seen Cole Patrick in the number 1 out here before. So a few of the drivers, or excuse me, a few of the team owners switching things up, putting some new, fresh blood into their cars. And if you're just tuning in, as a reminder, we have multiple teams out here battling for their championship. Each team owner owns the charter for that car number, and they are free to put whoever they want in the car week in and week out. Some teams, such as Lodo Racing, runs the same 4 drivers and their same 4 car numbers every week. And I think pretty much every team, it's a little bit of a smorgasbord on who they put in the car, switching things up a little bit. Again, putting maybe some fast guys in fast cars that already have a bunch of points to try and improve their chances of the team championship. For example, last week at Daytona Road, we saw Brett Edgar with Devil Core Racing. He threw in 2 or 3 ringers into the mix that were street stock road racing pros, and they came out here and dominated during the run. But so far tonight, it's all about Lodo Racing. Silvers and Vandermeed running 1 and 2. Then East Action Sports with Tyler Tomasi rounding out the podium in the number 76 machine so far. But Vandermeed and Silvers, we talked about their long run speed earlier tonight, and it seems they've got it working well for them. And it's about 11 laps. We're expecting our green flag stops to come into play. Breslin picks up another position in the number 14 over Cole Patrick. Vandermeed appears to have found some pace here. He's about 1/10 of a second faster than his teammate Silvers that last time by. Now as the timing updates, they clicked off almost identical lap times right now. Curious to see if we're going to see Silvers, number 21, yield the position to his teammate Vandermeed. I don't think we will, as Silvers has the highest amount of points for Lodo Racing. The number 21 has 90 points compared to the 84, which has 68 points. So I think, again, if I was a betting man, that they're going to try, and they being Lodo Racing, are going to try and keep Silvers out front to maybe net the most amount of points for the team possible. Silvers and Vandermeed about to come up on traffic as they start lap 53 here. Fuel window expecting to open now to lap 58. Now, if these guys pit on lap 58, they should be able to make it a 2-stop race here today, barring any cautions. Look at this, though. Vandermeed going to challenge his teammate James Silvers for the lead. He's going to take it over. Meanwhile, Feskinen in the 926, he's going to be the first driver down pit lane, coming a little bit early. And we may have something going on. It shows Tyler Tomasi off track. He's into it with Kage Song. The 2 team drivers may have crashed into each other. Let's take a quick look and see what may have happened to Tomasi. What on earth? The 2 team drivers get into each other. Sage comes down, gets into Tomasi. Tomasi's going to drop all the way back down to 9th. Luckily, your race leaders Vandermeed and Silvers able to get through and get back to battling. Feskinen rolls out of pit lane after 42 seconds in his pit stall. Jason Gardner, the ASRC Pro, he picks up another spot and puts his number 48 machine up into 5th after getting around Kenny Tripp. Now these street stock machines take a painfully long time to fuel stop. It's simulated by your favorite redneck cousin, manually adding 5 gallons at a time. And we had our good friend Casey Carrington tune in tonight as well, asking when do they add shark fins to the street stocks? Apparently whenever iRacing messed it up with the last update. These steering wheels are showing projected out of the roof of their car. Active aero adaptation is what we're going to call that. Lodo running 1 and 2 nice and strong, but Tyler McRae in the number 28 machine has picked up another spot and put his number 28 into 3rd. Again, the number 28 machine has the most amount of points for the individual points chase here. So he's going to do whatever he can to finish strong here today, score some points, and maybe try and work on that lead. That Devil, excuse me, no, it's Dropping Bombs Racing has the lead in the points chase. As we hear a whole lot of bumping and grinding going on. Kenny Tripp showed involved in an incident. Let's take a quick look at that and see what happened to the 116 machine. He's got Evans on the inside. Oh, and it's just another one of those iRacing big old blinks, just having really bad internet problems, and reappears in the outside wall. The caution does not come out, but a few drivers having internet issues here today. Now, I don't want to say anything possibly that'll bring on the commentator's curse, but Vandermeet and Silvers have been 2 drivers stricken with internet problems before when they raced the All-American ARCA Series on Friday nights. Hopefully this is something they can get through. And the pit cycles are open as Matt Baer, John Friley come down pit lane. Again, Feskinen was one of the first drivers to come in on lap 53 for 4 tires and a tank of gas. Surprised to see the guys staying out this long. What was expected to be a 58-lap fuel window, the guys are really stretching it out as your race leader's trying to cut through traffic here. Able to do so pretty much painlessly, not losing too much time. As always, these guys have a 40% fuel allotment and 3 sets of tires behind pit wall to use throughout the night. I'm surprised to see how long they're staying out for. They're 8 laps past what we are told by our drivers to expect. Baer and Friley both coming out of pit road. Look at that, Silvers gets a little bit wiggly. McRae still in 3rd. He's about 4.9 seconds back from your race leader, about 5 seconds back here. But the times really haven't fallen off for these drivers. Maybe as the temperature cools down here trackside at USA International. Their last time by, Vandermeet clicked off a 23.37. So he's about 0.4 of a second off of his fastest lap of the race. But that's out front without the draft, and he's almost 70 laps on a set of tires here. They are clicking it off up front, not having any problems. They're actually gaining time over McRae, who is in 3rd place. McRae, he's got Patrick Sullivan in tow with him, but maybe the race leaders who are linked up nose to tail able to cut that air just a little bit better and hot lap ever so slightly faster. Now we've got Sullivan, Tomasi, Tripp, and Patrick all in pit lane, coming in on lap 70. Your race leaders, though, opting to stay out as long as they can. Vandermeet and Silvers are looking at the time saying, hey, we're gaining time and positions here. Let's keep this party going and keep chugging along. And I think part of the reason's going to be it just takes so long to pit stop on these street stock machines. These are a lot of very fast and talented drivers taking big, heavy pieces of machinery and hucking around at speeds they're not really meant to go. And again, this is round 10 of the season so far, USA International Speedway. We've only got 2 rounds left. Next week we're at Texas Motor Speedway, and then the season finale at Viva Las Vegas, before a short hiatus where we're going to get the schedule worked out and get ready to send these guys out for season 2. It's been a lot of fun talking to these drivers as the season progresses. Everybody, drivers, team owners, race control, broadcaster, having some good ideas on what we can do to improve the overall product, the overall show week in and week out. And looking forward to some more cool changes coming into the future. Spencer Breslin, number 14 machine, he comes down pit road on lap 73. Oh no, Jason Gardner involved in a big problem here. Not quite sure what happened. Gardner, I think, butchered the pit stop. Tags the outside wall, goes completely airborne, number 48. I believe that was Song in the 53 that was able to get down, but that may be the end of the night for Gardner, number 48 machine, with a uncharacteristic bobble going into pit lane. Your race leaders, Vandermeet and Silvers, are going to dive in as well. Ooh, they're dangerously close to a speeding penalty there. We'll keep an eye on that. Carrington, one of our good friends at the admin for the All-American ARCA Series, has a good bit of trivia. Vandermeet and Silvers, your race leaders, always race in the same room together. Doesn't matter the league or the series they're in, they're always battling side by side and sitting side by side. So if one driver has the internet problem, both drivers are going to have the internet problem. McRae's going to stay out an extra lap, and he will show as the race leader. Brett Edgar in the number 98 machine stays out a very long time. Going to be really interesting to see what the strategy is here today. It's lap 88 is the halfway mark. I can't imagine any of our drivers are going to be able to make it to that point. But let's see if Brett Edgar can do so in the number 98 machine, because now you've got McRae, Silvers, Vandermeet, Evans, Shutters all on pit road. Gardner still getting his machine put back together. Travis Sukup has been in his pit stall for quite a while in the number 99 machine. Vandermeet and Silvers are going to roll back out on track. So race leader still Brett Edgar in the number 98 machine, but he's going to bring it down pit lane. So I believe it's going to be Feskinen in the 926 that's going to get some more laps led here, as he's going to get around Edgar, who's again on pit road. Feskinen trying to get around lap traffic with Spencer Breslin. Breslin doing his best to stay on the lead lap here. Now Feskinen went for a bit of an undercut. He came in on lap 53 while the rest of the field kind of scattered all over the place. Anywhere between lap 62 to I believe it was lap 80 for Edgar when he finally came down pit road. Now, it doesn't look like the tire wear is as much of a factor as we thought it would be here today. And Feskinen, the only Lodo Racing team member that came in on lap 53. Again, Vandermeer and Silvers both came in on lap 76 when they were the race leaders. And that's going to put Lodo 1, 2, 3, Feskinen, Vandermeer, Silvers. Now Feskinen and his merry band of race car drivers with Lodo Racing doing their best to gain some points late in the season. Right now, again, Lodo is about 60 points behind your team points leader, Dropping Bombs Racing, and about 45 points behind Devil Corps. And again, $200 purse is what these guys are battling for the team championship. And if I'm looking at it correctly, I believe they also have the individual points, individual purse they're chasing as well, which is around $70 if memory serves me correctly. But now Feskinen, the 926, feeling some pressure from his two teammates, Vandermeer and Silvers. I'd imagine Feskinen is going to yield the line here as Vandermeer and Silvers have been so incredibly quick. The team owner's not going to try and slow down two of his faster drivers that have been running very strong up front. Vandermeer's going to look to the inside line going into turn 3 as well as Silvers. I think Feskinen's going to yield it pretty easily here, not wanting to battle with his two drivers. And that appears to be the case as Vandermeer and Silvers get through nice and easy. Feskinen's going to slot back into third, and that's not to take away where Feskinen's running right now. With his pit strategy, he's up 14 spots. He started in 17th, currently third on track as we get ready to approach the halfway mark here tonight. Getting a pit side report from Jason Gardner saying the car physics broke when I entered the pit. To be fair to Gardner, I think the physics were already broken coming in tonight as we still have steering wheels sticking out of roofs here in the street stock. Lap traffic once again a factor. Let's see if Feskinen can get through nice and easy. So far looking good. And again, Vandermeer and Silvers, who've been running very strong, keeping their head down and just clicking off laps. They dropped 23.11214 for both of them. The lap prior, this lap with lap traffic, they clicked off about 23 flats. And as we are past the halfway mark, thank you so much to our fans, friends, family at home that come out each and every week supporting their favorite drivers in the Pro Street Stock Series, supporting their favorite series as well as their favorite broadcaster. We couldn't do it without you guys. We see everybody that likes the videos every week, that subscribes to the channel, and truly couldn't do it without you guys. Feskinen has a bit of pressure from Breslin. Now Breslin is one lap down, running 12th here today. So I don't think he's gonna battle with a lead lap car too hard. And Feskinen still has about a 1.6 second advantage over Sullivan, who's running fourth. The field fairly stretched out here. And I've got to say, I'm fully expecting a caution now because I would have never predicted that we made it this far into a USA International race. Almost 95 laps with Vandermeer and Silvers being dominantly some of the faster cars out on track. I am absolutely shocked that the drivers have made it this far. But that's one of the joys of being the Pro Series. It's a money series. These guys pay week in and week out to be here for a chance to bring home those payouts both weekly and at the end of the season. And we're very fortunate to have such talented and just clean drivers out here. On a track that we've seen absolute crash fest in the past. The guys are doing great. I think the two teammates are communicating. Silver looks to the inside along Vandermeer. Down the backstretch, and I think coming out 3 and 4, you're going to have a new race leader with James Silvers in the number 21 machine. Yes, Silvers will take over the race lead. Now, I believe at this point, if we do have any cautions come out, you'll see, I think, everybody come in. Because based on Silvers and Vandermeer going 76 laps on a tank of gas here, they will only need one more stop to run till the end, and they won't even have to fill up all the way if the caution is later on in the race. Bringing check back on third place, Jacob Feskinen. Patrick Sullivan, the number 16 machine's gotten pretty close, less than a quarter of a second separating Feskinen from Sullivan. But the best advantage I think Lodo has right now with all three cars running 1, 2, 3. With one of their teammates, I believe, running 14th on track. It's only the top 2 cars for each team, with their results counting towards the team championship. So if they finish just like this, Silvers, Vandermeer, Feskinen 1, 2, 3, it'll only be Silvers and Vandermeer scoring points for Lodo. But what that also does is takes away points from another team. As Sullivan in the number 16 machine trying to get up there. Sullivan racing for Devil Core Racing, owned by Brett Edgar. And that number 16 machine is third in the individual points. So he wants to get up there for 2 reasons. Secure his points just a little bit higher for the end of season individual points championship. He has a big moment getting loose out of turn 4. But he's also trying to help Devil Core extend their points, trying to catch up to Dropping Bombs Racing. Again, after tonight, only 2 races left. As Feskinen will get some room to breathe here after Sullivan had that wild ride back there in 4th. Pull up the live timing and scoring tower on the left side of your screen as Feskinen's going to come down pit road. Oh, that was close. Feskinen took that lap 53 pit stop. That was as far as he was comfortable stretching out here with 70 laps left to go. But let's keep an eye on that 926 machine, as he may be in a great spot to pull something off here at the end. as your race leaders and teammates, Silvers and Vandermeed, still battling hard. And they're going to cut through traffic with Song at the front in the number 53 machine here. And Silvers and Vandermeed, I'm not sure where they found the speed in these street stock machines, but as the season progresses, really in everything these guys are running, they've been getting faster and faster and cleaner. So good to see the two friends, I think roommates as well, really develop as drivers over the past 2-3 months. We've been broadcasting 2 series that these drivers are in, and really, 2 guys that have really come into their own here as they get more experience. They've been getting cleaner and cleaner, faster and faster. And right now they've got almost a 4-second advantage over 3rd place with Patrick Sullivan. Sullivan's last time by at 23.55 compared to your race leaders who are clicking off 23.25s. Let's see what it is as they cross the line. Your race leaders clicking off 23.3s, while Sullivan clicks off a 23.38. Let's check on Tyler Tomasi in the number 76 machine with East Action Sports. He's running 4th after being involved in an incident with a teammate, able to crawl back out on it. He came in on lap 69 for his pit stop. But we've also seen races won or lost on pit strategy here for the Pro Series, as I'm intrigued to see what Jacob Feskinen in the 926 machine can do. He is now, I believe, 3 or possibly 4 laps down after his pit stop. But he went for the undercut on his original stop at lap 53. But let's see what he can pull off on strategy here today. Tomasi's about 2.2 seconds back from Sullivan, and about 1 second ahead of Matt Bear, who's running 5th in the number 19 machine. Bear, a very talented driver. He's up 11 spots here today. Originally qualifying in 16th, running 5th out on track in the number 19 for Devil Core Racing. Other notable battles on track: Kenny Tripp leading Brett Edgar and Tyler Evans. But we're going to cycle back up front as we've got a race for the lead. Vandermeed and Silvers going side by side once more. As I believe they are about to have a bunch of traffic to cut through here. They've got Song, I believe it's Song just ahead of him in the number 53 machine. He's about 15 laps down from the race leader. Oh, a big moment. I think they were expecting Song to go wider there and had to swerve across the racetrack. Now I believe they have their friend Evans, who's racing for East Action Sports. It's friends on different teams here for the Pro Series. Evans going to do whatever he can to stay on the lead lap in the 5.53 machine. as we're going to take a lap on board with Vandermeet. Silver's had a big moment coming out of turn 3. He's going to lose, drop back down to about 0.8 of a second behind his friend Vandermeet. But you're on board with Vandermeet for a fast lap around USA International. Vandermeet qualified second, currently running first here tonight in the number 84. And making it look easy. Silver's caught up relatively quickly though. Now he's only about 0.6 behind his friend Vandermeet. Matt there, the 19, is going to come in for his final stop on lap 120. Take just enough fuel to make it to the end, maybe a little bit extra to account for green-white checker attempts if we do have those today. His team owner, Brett Edgar, also coming down pit road. John Friley coming down the road in the 06 machine. Kage Song in pit road. And barring any late race shenanigans with cautions, this should be the final green flag cycle for the majority of these drivers. Excuse me. Heard somebody, I believe, trying to enter pit lane or maybe get out of the way. Now that was a driver coming back out on track. I believe that's Brett Edgar, the number 98 machine. He will come back out on track 13th after his pit cycle. And he will be 3 laps down if I'm looking at this correctly. We've made it 124 laps with good green flag racing here today. And Vandermeet and Silvers have been putting on a show up front all night long. I dare say probably their best performance this season. 7 drivers still on the lead lap, and all 7 of those drivers will have to pit at least once more. But which of the drivers are doing the fuel calculations and counting on a gamble here? I think a lot of the gamble is going to depend on green flag runs for these drivers. If we do get a caution, you're going to have a bunch of fast guys 1 lap down. As right now it's Vandermeet, Silver, Sullivan, Tomasi, McRae, Tripp, Evans running 1st through 7th on the lead lap here today. Evans is about 2 seconds away from being overtaken by the race leaders, as Vandermeet and Silvers have really found a groove here and clicking it off. Brett Edgar is going to follow along with the race leaders, maybe see what they're doing here today. Very, very impressed with the quality of the drivers we've seen through the postseason. These guys just keep getting better and better, racing cleaner and cleaner. And the racing has just been great all season long. We've made it 10 rounds for these guys. We've had a couple races where our fair share of eye pacing, but tonight the guys are making up for it, showing what it takes to run so many laps, 130 laps, nice and clean. Hucking around some big, heavy machines and making them quick. Now, Silvers has one race here this season at Milwaukee. After 150 laps, he put on the top spot. Vandermeet's still looking for his first win in the number 84 machine. But out of 10 races, we've had 7 different winners here, I believe. For the most part, a lot of drivers having just one win. There's a couple of drivers that have scored a couple victories. Jonathan Bronson, he's brought home 2 wins. Steven Rex, he's got 2 wins as well. Other than that, it's Babinger, Edwards, Friley, Silvers, Tripp, all with 1 win each. Had a moment from Evans in the number 553. It shows him as a crash. Let's take a look and see what happened to the driver. Or it could be possibly internet problems once more. Yes, that is what it was. Evans triggering the crash report with that major blink, able to keep it pointing the right direction, not having any problems. And thankfully the race leaders weren't too close, as Vandermeet and Silvers are still charging hard. But Evans, he's found some pace here late in the race. His last time by at 23.47, the race leaders are clicking off 23.4s to 23.3s. So Evans in the 5.53, 6th on track. He's found a bit of pace, but may have found it a little bit too late in the evening, or may just be more comfortable as a long-run driver. Sullivan and Tomasi come down pit lane for their final time. But how late are Vandermeet and Silvers going to stretch it out for? Their last pit stop for Vandermeet and Silvers was on lap 76. McRae came in on lap 77. Evans came in on lap 76. So that's expecting their next pit stop somewhere to be around the lap 150 mark. But the good news for these guys, if they can time it properly with their crew chiefs, or if they're just doing it themselves, they can really not have to take much fuel, get back out there, and maybe maintain the race lead. The average pit lane time for these guys is anywhere between 1:22 to 1:30. The total time they're on pit road taking those full pit stops. Sullivan and Tomasi leaving pit lane. Sullivan in and out about 7 seconds faster than Tomasi. Maybe getting the fuel timed a little bit better. But McRae, he's about 15 seconds back from your race leader. Evans is about 22 seconds back and about to go 1 lap down here. Only 4 drivers on the lead lap as the pit cycles have just about finished for these guys. Your top 7 drivers expecting to have to pit once more to make it till the end. As now Vandermeet and Silver is going to come down pit road for the final time. Does McRae, number 28, come in, or is he going to stay out here? I'd imagine Evans will come in next time by. McRae going to stay out, try and get a lap ahead of the race leaders. Evans does come in as predicted. Now I think McRae is going to try and stretch it out to as long as he can, so we don't have to take just the perfect amount of fuel to bring it home to the end and maybe pick up a win here on pit strategy. Breslin also stays out, and the number 14 machine takes over 2nd place, while Vandermeet, Silvers, and Evans are all in pit lane. Vandermeet going to roll out after only 20 seconds. Silvers in his box for about 25 seconds. Hopefully both those drivers did their calculations correctly to make it to the end on fuel. Vandermeet's going to come out about 1 lap down from McRae. Breslin about 18 seconds back from your race leader. Now Vandermeet's in a good position here. He does not have to put the pressure on too bad on McRae. He knows he's going to have to come in. So there's no point racing too hard, getting your lap back when you know the race leader is going to have the box. Vandermeer's got to be patient here as he gets right on the back bumper of the number 28, Tyler McRae, your race leader. Vandermeer's going to go to the inside line along McRae and get his lap back. Now at the Pro Series, we have a rule: lap traffic must yield the racing line to the race leaders if that becomes an issue. But they are allowed to try and get back on the lead lap if they can do so through speed and ability versus aggression. So that was a great example. Vandermeer able to cut through Tyler McRae and get back on the lead lap without risking his machine or McRae's machine. That's the other golden rule here in the Team Goon Squad Pro Series. Drive how you want to be driven. So if you want to drive over aggressive and use that front bumper, you can expect the same in return. I'm surprised to see Vandermeer now 5 seconds ahead of his teammate James Silvers, who was running second overall, as those two were battling back and forth. It's going to be 25 laps left to go as McRae gets ready to cross the line. He's going to come down pit lane. Breslin has come in 1 lap prior. That will allow Vandermeer to take over the race lead. And he's got the number 99 machine of Travis Sukup right in tow. Sukup is down about 47 laps here, having a fair stretch of bad luck. But that's one constant factor you'll see here. Guys can be involved in an early incident and they will get back out there, because as this season really gets tight as it progresses, every single point matters for both the individual chase as well as the team championship. Vandermeer will take over the race lead as McRae is in pit lane for the final time here tonight. McRae in and out of his pit stall in about 23.87 seconds. He'll rejoin the track, I believe, 6th on track. .25 laps left to go for our pro drivers. It's Vandermeer, Silvers, and Sullivan running in podium contention here. Then Matt Bear and Tyler Tomasi having a good heated battle for 4th place. Bear's up 12 spots here today. Good to see Tomasi running so strong in the number 76 machine for his first time out here tonight. That's a pretty solid way to enter your debut in the Pro Series. Running nice and clean. I know he's involved in one incident early on. Tomasi looking to the inside of Matt Bear. Bear gets a little bit loose there in the number 19 machine. That's going to allow Tomasi to possibly capitalize, diving into turn 1. This is the battle for 4th on screen right now. Tomasi tries to clear up the racetrack, not quite able to do so. Matt Bear was right there in the corner panel. Tomasi will take over 4th spot in the number 76 machine. And it looks like Tomasi is going to quickly get about a half-second advantage over Bear, who's running 5th. Now, Bear came in on lap 119. Tomasi came in on lap 135. I'm not sure that's a possible tire difference we're seeing between the two, or what made that be. Vandermeed still out in front in the number 84. Silvers has found some time, though. He's gained about a second back to the race leader. It is now only a 4-second disadvantage that Silvers in second place has to your race leader, Vandermeed. But with 18 laps left to go, barring any shenanigans, Vandermeed is looking good and likely for his first ever pro win. Vandermeed's last time by, let's see what it updates with at the line. It was a 23.38 the lap prior, this time a 23.21. Silvers clicks off a 23.13 and gains a little bit more time on the race leader. I wonder if Silvers having Brett Edgar in tow in the number 98 machine. I believe that's Brett Edgar. No, I'm not quite sure who that is. Silvers was just ahead of somebody, possibly the 99 of Travis Suka, but maybe using that draft to his advantage to try and crawl his way back to his teammate Vandermeed. Again, I'm not really good at how the math is going to work. I think it would behoove Lodo Racing to have Silvers out front, but I'm not quite sure if that's correct or if that may be the strategy or if it's every man for himself here. Now again, the number 21 driven by Silvers with Lodo Racing. He's got the most amount of points for the team, currently 5th on track. Excuse me, 4th in points. But I would imagine the team owners have done all the work trying to figure out where they can put their cars to gain the most amount of points possible. We've got several hard chargers. I think Matt Bear is currently the biggest hard charger. He's up 10 spots, and the number 19 machine has worked his way up to 6th tonight. Tyler McRae, the number 28, he just got around Tyler Tomasi. He is up 7 spots. Again, the number 28 machine, he's got the most amount of points in the individual chase so far here tonight with 109 points before tonight. Now that does not count the 2 drop weeks that we have for the individual championship. But for the team chase, every single week counts for these drivers. Only 9 laps left to go as your race leader, Michael Vandermeed, is up front, just clicking off laps in the number 84 machine. Still holding about a 3.5 second advantage over 2nd place and about a 9 second advantage over 3rd place, Patrick Sullivan. And still staying very consistent that last time by, a 23.24. As Silvers in 2nd place clicks off a 23.35. Let's see what Sullivan does. He clicks off a 23.24 his last time by. So these top 3 drivers extremely smooth, extremely consistent. Vandermeed about to have track to deal with once more. I believe that may be Bear in the number 19 machine. It is. Excuse me. Vandermeed's got to be extremely careful here. With 6 laps left to go, he does not want to risk that number 84 machine at all, as he is on the way to, his possible first win of the Pro Series. Now, Bear's last time by a 23.51. He's about 0.2 slower than Vandermeed. And these guys, Vandermeed's definitely slowed down, clearing off a 23.4 his last time by. But truthfully, I think he can just kind of hang out here and not really risk it all. As Silver's in second, still about 3.3 seconds behind your race leader. Silver's clicked off a 23.22 his last time by. Let's see what it is as he updates. Clicks off a 23.28. So he's about 0.2 faster than your race leader. But with 3 laps left to go, Vandermeed's got to be very careful here. Got to play it safe, bring it home to the end. Because while we have a 175 lap scheduled here today, it's the last one that matters. We've got our good friend Steve Rex joining us in the chat here tonight. Normally pilots number 28. Again, the number 28 piloted by Tyler McRae here today, running 4th. I believe Rex is out of town. He'll have to correct me if he can. And if he is out of town on vacation, thank you so much, Steve, for tuning in tonight. Good to see you and the friends doing well. The white flag will fly for Michael Vandermeed. Who is going to finish the Pro Series round at USA International comfortably ahead, 2 seconds ahead of James Silver's Vandermeed, picking up the very first win of his pro season career. A great race from the number 84 machine. And the fireworks will fly. Vandermeed first, Silver second, and Sullivan third in the number 16 machine as the 2 teammates pull up next to each other to celebrate. What a great race from these guys. A spectacular round, and Vandermeed's going to burn it down in style here today, as well as James Silvers, while the rest of the field watches on in awe. Drivers ecstatic for some of their best racing of the season. Well done to all of our drivers. We're going to try and get everybody up into the podium booth. Up first, we've got Patrick Sullivan and the 1.6 machine with Devil Core. Patrick, great run tonight, getting the team some more points, extending that lead over a couple of the other teams. And we went green at USA International Speedway. Did you ever expect such a thing?
You know, I thought if we could get through the first few laps, we had a good shot at it. This field's pretty decent. We're pretty much able to race around each other for the most part. I figured we'd get strung out so there wouldn't be a lot of close racing at the end. So not too surprising, but good run for us. We're proud of what we did. Got to thank Matt, John, Jeff for the setup. Got to thank Sim Speed Shop, Track Time Entertainment, JT's Pressure Washing. These guys make it happen for us.
I mean, Patrick, a great job as always. It's a great time having you up in the booth with us. We know several of you guys race several times a week with each other across different street stock leagues. Now, do you think as the season's progressed up in around 10, that is attributed to a little bit of the calmer racing we've seen, or is it just guys getting more used to the machines out there?
Yeah, I think as you race with each other more and more, you get to know each other's tendencies. You get to know who to trust, who you can't, what guys are going to do. You're kind of almost guessing what their moves are going to be. It lets you put yourself in a better position, lets you put yourself in relation to them in a better position, make sure you guys don't tangle when it's not needed.
Well, Patrick, again, always a great time having you up here. One of the cleanest, nicest racers we get to talk to week in and week out. I think you touched on all your sponsors, but just in case, anybody else you'd like to give a shout out to here today?
No, I think we grabbed them all. I appreciate it, James. Appreciate the broadcast. Appreciate the league. You guys run a good show, and looking forward to coming back next week and seeing what else we might be able to do.
Patrick, always a pleasure. Congratulations again on a podium, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
You as well. Up next, we've got James Soundcloud Silvers picking up a second for the points. Silvers, how are you feeling right now? We went green 175 laps, and that number 21 machine looking nice and shiny at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the racing, man. That's the second race that we've done that's went green to green, all the way to the very end, and not one caution. I was impressed by the driving, and to be honest, I'm really hot right now. I'm sweating. I'm telling you, sweating, bad, buddy.
Now, did you expect tonight to go so clean? We know you and Vandermeed put down really great qualifying here today. You qualified on pole, Vandermeed qualified in second. Did you guys also really work on the long run speed here today, or what was the strategy going into tonight?
Me and Jacob Fescannon, we always make the setups every week for Lodo, and this week we did a little bit extra work into it, and we really got a really fast qualifying setup. And for the race setup, I didn't know it was that dialed in until we got out there on the racetrack. I just thought it was going to be fast, but not that fast. But, it was a very good night from everybody out there. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, great racing, great friends out there in the Pro Series. You're picking up, once again, another podium. Now, I know this is a track you won at tonight. Did Vandermeed just get that pit strategy dialed in a little bit faster than you, or what allowed him to pull out a few seconds ahead?
We was pretty equal. To be honest, we was equal about the entire race. On that last pit stop, though, I kind of overshot my box, and that's took me about 3 seconds. That's what cost me. So good to him, though. I mean, I always like to see a teammate win.
Well, you guys put on a great show. You both got to be proud. Silvers, before I let you sign off and celebrate with the rest of the Lodo crew, who would you like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors. The floor is yours, my friend.
I always shout out you, James East, because you do a really good job broadcasting, man. I'm telling you, they're going to put you on one of these days, man. Other than that, got to shout out everybody in Waynesville, and my mom and dad always, because they like to watch, and everybody at Lodo, and Michael and Tyler and Radburn, and I'm just very impressed, man. I'm telling you, Michael, you really ran a really good race, man.
Well, Silver's a great time talking to you as always, my friend. A great clean race tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with the rest of the hooligans.
Sir, appreciate you, James. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, sir. And up next, the man of the hour, Michael Vandermeed, number 84 machine with Lodo Racing, picking up his first ever Pro Series win. Vandermeed, how are you feeling right now, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. That was probably the best race car I've ever had.
Now, we talked to your teammate Silvers and said you guys put in a whole lot of work. Was that during the official practice we do? Did you guys get together multiple times this week? What allowed you guys to link up and put together such a fast car, a few fast cars?
Yeah. Well, we probably hosted our 2 or 3 of our own practices. We hosted one for it today at like 4 o'clock. And they just keep passing, him and Jacob just kept passing the setup back and forth. And each time they passed it back, they made it faster and faster.
Now that was Feskin, and who else passed it together? So that way they get the due credit.
James Silvers.
Got it. I mean, you guys put on a show. It looks like Silvers may have had a bobble there at the final green flag pit stop, but you guys were just running neck and neck the entire time. Was there any sort of team orders tonight with certain drivers expected to finish well, or was it every man for himself and wherever the cards fell, they fell?
Well, James is sitting really good in the points, so if it came between us, he wanted me to give him some slack if it came to it, but we were just too far apart at the end for it to really matter.
Well, Vandermeed, you guys put on a great show, both as individual drivers, the team effort really coming together, putting Lodo 1 and 2. Before I let you sign off and celebrate with the rest of the hooligans, who would you like to give a shout out to that's supporting you on and off the track this season?
Oh, just the team, really. James and Jacob, they give us such fast cars, it's unreal.
Well,
and then Jacob, and then Radburn and Tyler, God bless, they do what they can. And most time they finish better than I think.
Well, everybody's out there trying their best. And that's the cool thing about the Pro Series, running with some talented drivers every week, and you guys show what it takes to put it on the top spot of the box. So congratulations on another win, my friend, or excuse me, your first win, and just hope to see you do well for the remaining couple rounds.
Alrighty, I think I'll stick around. Have a good one.
You as well, Michael. And that, my friends, is going to do it for round 10 of the Pro Series, where it's Michael Vandermeed put on the top spot for the very first time with his teammate James Silvers right in tow with second, and Patrick Sullivan bringing home a third. As always, thank you so much to everybody that tunes in week in and week out, supporting the Team Goon Squad Pro Series. My name is James East. We'll see you next week for round 11. And again, only 12 rounds left in the series. Next week, we go to Texas Motor Speedway before the season finale at Las Vegas. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night, everyone.